I was born in a time when the village was young, when the cobblestone streets were uneven, and the lanterns flickered softly, casting shadows that stretched longer than they should have. Every house was old, creaking with secrets, as if the walls themselves remembered the lives of those who had come before. Even as a child, I could feel the nights breathing around me. The wind carried whispers that spoke of things unseen, and I knew that some of those whispers were meant only for those who dared to listen. People vanished in the darkness, neighbors, children, sometimes entire families, without a trace, leaving only hushed murmurs and fearful glances behind. Elders warned of what lay beyond the old well, beyond the barns at the edge of the fields, and yet my curiosity always drew me closer. One night, I saw it. A shadow that moved unlike any creature I had known, with eyes glowing faintly in the dark, floating silently yet deliberately near the barn. Symbols carved deep into the wood seemed to pulse with an unseen energy, warnings older than any memory I could grasp. My heart pounded as the air thickened around me, heavy with the scent of damp earth and something older, something alive in the dark. From that night on, the whispers grew louder, guiding me toward places I was told to avoid, drawing me to the hill where the old house stood, windows like hollow eyes staring down at me, inviting and threatening all at once. Inside, the shadows moved as if they had consciousness, and I could feel a presence watching, breathing, waiting. Objects shifted when I wasn't looking, subtle movements that whispered danger, curiosity, and something else I could not name. I encountered it fully one night, a figure neither human nor spirit, yet familiar in a way that made my skin crawl. Its whispers promised both peril and knowledge, and I was drawn into a dance of fear and fascination that lasted hours, though time itself seemed suspended. The village, with its fog-laden streets and ancient houses, revealed its hidden rituals and the fates of those who had disappeared. Faces I had known smiled in sunlight, but were gone in the mist, leaving stories and fear to fill the emptiness. I learned to read the subtle signs in the shadows, to interpret the quiet messages in the wind, and to understand that some questions had no answers, and some doors should never be opened. Even now, I hear the whispers calling me, urging me to remember what happened, to follow the paths where the lost ones still roam. The past does not die. It lingers in the corners of the village, alive in the shadows, moving through the fog. Sometimes, when the night is silent, the lost ones return in whispers, calling the brave, the curious, or the foolish to follow them. Lanterns flicker, the wind carries secrets, and in the stillness, I can feel the eyes of the unseen, watching, waiting. Remember these words when you walk alone at night, for the village is alive, still breathing, still remembering, and some whispers are never meant to be followed. The shadows that slither between the houses and under the gnarled trees tell stories older than any history book. The wells, the barns, the abandoned houses, they all remember. I have walked those paths many times, heart racing, lantern in hand, listening to the faintest noises, the subtle shifts in the fog. The old village is not silent. It sings a song of fear and memory, a song that only those who listen closely can hear. I have felt its gaze, its awareness, as if the very earth beneath my feet were alive, judging the steps I took, and I learned that curiosity can be both a gift and a curse. I tell you now, in my old age, that these stories are real, though the living often deny them. Every creaking door, every flicker of light, every distant whisper is a thread connecting the present to the past. The village watches those who walk its streets after dusk. It waits. And when the fog curls and thickens, the shadows stretch longer, and the lost ones return, calling, beckoning, daring you to uncover the truths hidden in the night. Listen carefully, for you may hear my voice whispering to you, telling you to beware, to follow only with caution, and to respect the darkness, for it remembers everything and it waits. Even as the lanterns dim and the wind howls through the empty fields, the village remains. The shadows continue to move, carrying memories of the vanished, of secrets too heavy to speak aloud. I have lived through nights of fear, curiosity, and revelation, learning that the line between life and the forgotten is thin, and that those who tread too close to the unknown may never return. The old village breathes, whispers, remembers, and watches. If you listen closely, in the silence between heartbeats, you might hear the calls of the lost, the stories of the shadows, and the quiet warnings of one who has seen too much. The past lives on here, in the dark, in the fog, in the eyes of the unseen. And sometimes,